Hello everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. It's the weekend, November 26th. And of course, this is the weekend video. We'll take a look at what happened last week. Of course, it was a very short trading week with Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had a good holiday. And it seems like everybody was out shopping on Friday because there were some record sales numbers on Friday online. So lots of shopping going on last week. And this week we've got a big week coming up. We've got some important numbers coming out, so let's get down and take a look at what happened last week and figure out where we're going next week. So as I said last week, we did get a shortened trading week with the holiday, and we did manage to finish up on the week on all the indexes. You can see there the Dow was up the most, followed by the S&P and the IWM. Qs lagging a little bit as they have been on this rebound. I think a lot of the action was related to the release of the Fed meeting minutes on Wednesday. Seemed to indicate that many of them are getting ready to slow the pace of rate hikes just to see what effect those rate hikes have had, since it is a bit of a lag effect there. And of course, investors like that news. Areas of strength and weakness. Interestingly, there was, mostly the strength was in some of the safety trades like the utilities and real estate, biggest gainers. Energy was the only sector actually finished down in the week, and it was just marginally down, like 0.1%. So pretty much all the sectors finished up on the week as well. 2-year Treasury down slightly, and the 10-year was up slightly. So it was a bit of balancing effect, but really not a lot of change there on that shortened trading week. The dollar, again, showing a little bit more weakness on the week. And Bitcoin is sort of still struggling here with this FTX issue, and it's trading around 16.5, but that can come up and down during the week and as trading continues. So let's move on and take a look at some charts here. And as always, before I like to hit the charts here, I'd like to throw a quick ad for my book on Amazon, the latest book, Profiting as an Active Trader. It's there on Amazon if you would like to check it out. It's rules, strategies, and routines of an active stock, and a little bit of options in there as well. So there it is, and hopefully you want to check it out. Great, so let's get into looking at some charts here. Always start out with the 2-year and the treasuries and the 10-year. I'd like to see where things are going. You can see we're pretty much flattening out here on the 2s, and that's pretty much the case on the 10s as well. We are doing a little bit of a pullback on the 10s, kind of an indication that maybe we've topped out here, although it did appear that way before, but then we pushed higher. But as we get lower and lower inflation and maybe more of these layoffs, maybe bond market is starting to price in a bit of a recession looking forward. So again, looks like we've kind of topped out here on the 10s. So and the 2s are staying flat. So it'll be good to see these the 2s and the 10s interest rates, if they can start to come back together a little bit here, but certainly no sign of that yet. Transports just grinded higher through the week here. Again, this was a very low volume week with a lot of traders off on holidays, and this has traditionally been a very low volume week, but doesn't mean we can't push higher, which we did through the week. And you can see here we bit of an inside week compared to last week, but again held support levels, still down below this moving average, but RSI momentum indicators showing that we're still heading in an upward direction here. So the Dow breaking out here, as you can see here, we did break this prior high and moved up through it, and still showing a lot of strength. Again, volume very light, but again, we're just continuing to push higher here on optimism that the Fed may be close to done tightening, done raising rates. The Qs, again, the Qs are definitely struggling. We do seem to be making a bit of a pennant here on the daily chart, which means we could be looking to break out of this range here in the coming days or week. And again here, kind of a engulfing candle on the weekly. Again, very low volume, but momentum seems to be picking up to the upside on the Qs as well. Looking for that Santa Claus, so-called Santa Claus rally. And you can see here again, we did start to break out here on the SPY as well. So bit of a level here, challenged it a couple times, and then we just broke out Wednesday, and then a bit of a non-event on Friday. But right now we're just challenging that 200-day moving average. And you can see here on the weekly just breaking above it. Again, we do have this. We do have on Friday or Thursday a big number coming out. This inflation indicator that the Fed watch, so that will be highly anticipated for sure. And the IWM again. IWM small caps do tend to do well in a recovery. So you can see here we had again we're kind of just chugging along here and sitting right at an area that's somewhere around resistance, this moving average as well. So looking for a breakthrough of that. And as always, we like to look at the VIX, and you can see here just again, this is the fear index, and we are right back down pretty much to these lows in August. And just nobody's out there buying protection for a possible sell-off. The dollar, again, down on the week. We do seem to be maybe putting in a double bottom here. Again, low volume week, so it's hard to say for sure, but you can see on the weekly here, a bit of an engulfing candle, and that could mean we may be heading lower. Bitcoin, again, as I said, kind of hanging around the 16,500 level. Not really doing much. It's kind of surprisingly has held up fairly well given the current events that have happened here. So let's take a couple of looks, take a look at a couple of stocks on watch here. Apple's really been holding up well given all the news that's been coming out of China and the Foxconn issue. Had lots of trouble with their workforce and Chinese clashes with Chinese officials, but Apple's just been holding up, which leads me to believe that as long as it can continue to hold this sort of 145 level, it's probably going to do well. Again, when a stock can really maintain even through bad news, it's probably it's a good indicator that there's still lots of support in the market for the stock. Boeing, I just noticed that Boeing it's at an area here that looks like it's ready to break out. 190 could be an area here that's been prior support a couple times here and way back here, and resistance right here. So 190 looks like an important level, but if it can get through there, then I think it could push through 200 because there isn't a lot of volume in this area. Not a lot of people stuck in this range if they bought in that area. So Boeing looking pretty interesting here. Flex, I've been mentioning this one. It did break out and had a pretty good Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. I have a little bit of a pullback, and then Friday was good as well. So any kind of pullback here, maybe in the 2050 range, you could buy that. Gold is looking like it's getting ready to break out here. We've put in did have a little bit of a breakout on Wednesday, Thursday the holiday, and then Friday a little bit of a pullback to this level where it broke out from. So I'd be watching for a move higher on gold. And just trading the indexes. I think if you just want to keep it simple, trade the indexes going into December here. Just be aware that Thursday is that PCE number coming out that could have a pretty significant impact on a lot of different, on all the stocks basically. Tesla had a big pop up here. This was news on some upgrades, and I got a big pop on those upgrades. But Tesla still is in a downtrend, so it had a bit of a pullback on Friday. I'm still not 100% on board with Tesla. I did short it and caught that move down. I'm going to look for another reason to short this again, because I'm still not very positive on Tesla at this point. Just have to be careful with it because it is a bit of a a popular stock, and everybody loves to jump into it, and that you saw that on when it got those upgrades. Again, I'm still in some uranium. I still think as an energy source, it's still going to be in need. We've got U.S. I'm just watching oil. Oil seems to be still is showing a lot of weakness, and the energy sector has really been holding up pretty well here. I think a lot of people still feel energy is still the place to be in the very long run, but energy also is a bit of a challenge, has some challenges, of course, when there is a recession, lower energy demand, obviously. So get a bit of a head and shoulder pattern being put in here. The neckline is probably down in this range, so it would really have to break down to show a bit of to show some real significant weakness here. But sort of the 90 area might have some support there. And just if it does tend to break down from there, could be a short-term short. So that's it. Okay, let's wrap things up here. There's your levels on the Dow, Qs, SPY, and IWM with associated support and resistance levels. We did break through some key resistant levels last week on some of the indexes, so we'll keep an eye on those to see if we can continue to push higher. Economic events this coming week. We do have Powell speaking on Wednesday at 1:30. That'll be listened to for sure, but I don't know if he's going to say anything that hasn't already been said. Thursday, of course, is a big day for this PCE price index. This is the index that the Fed like to watch for signs of inflation or lack of. So everybody's going to be watching that number, and all the bulls in the market are going to be hoping that it will show continued cooling of inflation, which should take the markets higher as well. Thursday and Friday, we do have some jobless numbers, jobless claim numbers, employment numbers that will also be in focus, but that PCE number is going to be the big one. And lastly, earnings coming up this week. You can see here there's some Chinese stocks, there's some tech stocks, and kind of a smattering of different things, some consumer discretionary and consumer stocks as well. So it's going to be a bit of a dog's breakfast. I wouldn't say dog's breakfast, although Wolf is there, Petco. It's going to be a bit of a smorgasbord of different companies reporting next week, so it should be interesting. Well, that's it, everybody. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Get out there, spend some money, did some shopping, and if you're going to join us, we'll start off Monday morning again as usual, 8 o'clock, pre-market show with Jared. And then 8:30, we'll be doing the pre-market show with Carlos and Norm, taking us into the open where we will be trading with our members at 9:30. So hopefully we'll see you there. Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody, and bye for now.